Hey, it's the Right Rican. And what else is there to talk about but these rising gas prices? I just want to show this quick video. This is literally like, so not too far away from me, but I wanted to show that video because it's like really, thank you, Brandon. But and why is it? Well, here's why it's, before, people will go, especially, Democrats and leftists, they'll say, oh, presidents don't control the price, and presidents aren't responsible for, Biden isn't responsible for it. Yes, he is. Here's why. Here's an article from January 27, 2021. President Joe Biden on Wednesday signed a series of executive orders that prioritize climate change across all levels of government and put the U.S. on track, blah, 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 blah. Biden's orders direct the Secretary of Interior Department to halt new oil and natural gas leases on public lands and waters and begin a thorough review of existing permits for fossil fuel development. So here's the whole thing. If he's signing these executive orders to end leases, to look into ending future leases that are already people already have, and then you cancel an oil pipeline that would have what is that, heard 600 to 800 barrels of oil a day would have went from Canada to Texas, and they're still coming, like misinformation secretary, what's her name, Psaki. What she said was, oh, they're still coming. Yeah, it's still coming in trains and tanker and trucks, which is nowhere near the same level as it would be as coming as a pipeline. All these signs tell the energy industry, we need to raise prices. We're going to have limited oil. People who want to say it's price gouging, this is the whole thing. These are signs, they say presidents don't control the prices. But when this is going on, when the government is telling the business sector, this is what they're going to do, prices are going to go up because demand's staying the same, but the supply is going to be less. Okay. So yes, if they did Keystone, if they started Keystone again tomorrow, would the supply be increased? No, not right away. They would need to finish it, but it would be a sign that things are going in the right direction. Same thing if he would allow drilling in federal land and in federal water, we would be able to produce the oil that we need in this country, just for us. And even there would be more than enough to make up for the bans, as the Russian bans that are going on. But why they won't? Because they're too focused on climate change. Solar panels and wind. And here's the whole thing. I'm not alone in this. Here's a survey that was done where it goes, 70% want increased domestic oil production, only 18% oppose. Now, I can't take these climate change and green people seriously when all they want to do is wind and solar. You can't just do wind and solar. You have to, if you're going to really do climate change and electricity production properly, you need to also do nuclear. And that's the problem. In this country, people are afraid of nuclear energy. And when we should, it's like here, is this the article that oh, great. Now it's not coming up. Hold on. Here's Bill Gates is building a nuclear power plant in Wyoming. In Wyoming, this power plant is set to come online, I think, in a couple of years. Um, it's initially going to cost $4 billion. But they're talking about the price will go down. Here it goes. Where is it here? It aims to build a plant in frontier era coal town by 2028. There's a bunch of jobs going on there, but I'm trying to click on where it says here. Okay. Once built, the plant will provide a base load of 345 megawatts with a max of 500. For reference, 1 gigawatt or 100 megawatts of energy will power a mid-sized city, and a small town can operate on 1 megawatt, according to a rule of thumb Microsoft co-founder Gates provided in his book recently. The United States use 1,000 gigawatts and the world needs 5,000 gigawatts, he wrote. He goes, so here it goes. It's going to cost $4 billion to build the plant, with half of this money coming from the power company and the other coming from the U.S. Department of Energy. But it goes here, China and Russia are doing it. But where he goes, I'm not going to go into the schematics of it because most people don't really care. What I wanted to show is where it talked about how, here it goes, the plants are also smaller than conventional nuclear power plants, which should make them faster and cheaper to build than conventional power plants. TerraPower aims to get the cost of its plants down to $1 billion, a quarter of the budget for the first one. The first one they're saying is always the most expensive because they're basically learning how to build it. And then from there, they could start producing other ones. So if these small ones could produce 500 megawatts, that means, let's say, then you would need to build 4 of them or so to power like a bigger city. But these would be perfect to put around the country, especially, here's the irony. If we went electric tomorrow, if everybody owned an electric car by tomorrow, we wouldn't be able to supply the energy for it. California right now has rolling blackouts. You saw what happened in the cold in Texas. So this is needed if you really want to go green. You know, if you look into it, if you read into it, there's some of these nuclear power plants, they recycle most of what nuclear waste they use, depending on the whichever plan you look at. Some of the plans call, but yeah, I just wanted to show this where you can see that this is from 2018. Granted, it's an older article, but it goes here, the turbulent history of 5 nuclear new builds. This one, this project is set to come online in 2019, which is a year, probably is already online now. It was supposed to come online earlier, but there was a decade of delays. And it's this one in Finland. Here's one that was built in the United Arab Emirates. And here's one in South Korea. There's 2 in China. Here's one in Russia. And I'll put a link in the description, so if you're interested in reading the article. But you can see we weren't on this list at this time. So, you know, all these people that want to go green, they ignore nuclear. And here's the problem. Nuclear is an ugly word right now. But if you look, like I said, if you look at these new designs, most of the power plants, especially here in the country, except they're building some in Georgia. There's 2 coming online in Tennessee. Okay. Except for those, all these other nuclear power plants, they were built in the 70s and the 80s. Okay. They're past their lifespan. They probably need to be shut down, but they just need to be replaced with newer models. These newer models are safer. They create less waste. They can recycle a lot of their waste. But the problem is, in our country, we're more focused on like some of the um, some of the things that how it malfunctioned and all that, and some of the like 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, all that stuff. There's a lot more. We've advanced in 20, 30 years. No, actually 70s, you're looking at 40, 50 years. We've made advancements that these things are now safer. So if you green people are serious about zero emissions, nuclear is the way to go. There's plenty of fuel for it, and it would power our country. You want to go electric, this would be the way to go. You want to get away from coal and natural gas power plants, this is the way you do it. And this would produce enough energy so like that if you want to increase the electric grid to be able to power the electric cars, this would be the way to go. But you can't ignore, this is stuff that, this is long-term planning. You want to get away from it, this is a way to do it. But but right now we need the oil for the gas for our cars, and these prices, for you people who, you greenies who want to help the poor, guess what? These rising gas prices, those are the people that are going to be affected the most. Food prices are going to start shooting up because with diesel at like $5-6 a gallon and climbing, food prices are going to skyrocket. Everything's going to skyrocket because if it's not, it's brought in by vehicles that are powered by gas or diesel, and all these prices are going up. That means these people aren't going to take it to the chin. They're going to pass the cost on to us. So if, with these rising gas prices, the first thing that, this, the stutterer in chief, or that's my nice way of saying the senile in chief, he needs to rescind these executive orders allowing for domestic production of oil. So like that, and restart the Keystone Pipeline. So like that, instead of this oil coming in by train and by truck, it could come in by the pipeline, and it'll come in safer, more environmentally sound, and quicker. So like that, it may take, I don't know, I don't know the logistics of it. It might take a year or two to finish the pipeline, but but once you do that, allow more drilling in federal lands, increase the domestic oil production. So like that, we're not reliant on the unstable world politics to with the gas prices, with the oil prices. Because if we're producing enough here for us and to export, then we would stabilize the market right now. But they're so invested in going green, but ignore the most potent green energy, which is nuclear. All they care about is the solar panels and the windmills. That's not gonna, if they want to go with electric vehicles, that's not gonna fly. That's not gonna produce enough energy for electric vehicles. We need more energy production. So Biden, rescind your executive orders, allow for, drill baby drill. And at the same time, you want to go green? Let's start building these nuclear power plants across the country. So like that, we have more energy. And then eventually, when we do get to the point where we all have electric vehicles, guess what? There'll be enough cheap electric energy that you won't need to worry about the oil prices, because if the nuclear power is giving us clean, cheap energy, then we could go to the batteries. You don't need to do no government mandates. There's your solution. But it takes someone with courage to tell the left, calm down with your green stuff. We can't just work on the, solar panels and windmills. We need the nuclear. Tell them that's going to make us green, and in time it'll match up. But if you keep pushing just one side, this is where we're at. We're going to get, we're going to get to the point where people, once you see like a 50% increase in food prices because of these high gas prices, people are going to flip. And, which, as someone who doesn't like what the Democrats are doing, come 2022, come these midterms, you guys are going to be screwed. And I'm fine with it. We need a different direction. We need to push. Not only do we need to push this president, he needs to be impeached for some of the shit that he's done. I don't care that we get Kamala as president. She can't do, well, I shouldn't say that, but hopefully she wouldn't do, as bad as a job as this guy's done. Then we just got to get rid of them in 2 years after that. But that's my, if you, for you greenies out there, if you guys ignore nuclear, I can't take you seriously, because then you don't care about, it's not about, protecting the planet. It's really not, because this is stuff that it's a compromise where we get clean, and clean in the sense that no carbon emissions and abundance of energy. And it's a lot of stuff is recycled with these newer nuclear plants. People just need to, it's not a scary word. We'll keep advancing as we use the technology. But if we're not going to use the technology, there's no incentive in updating this technology. It could get more and more efficient. Look at what we've done with car vehicles, where they're more and more fuel efficient. The same could be done with these nuclear power plants. Build a couple. Once those are up and running, let's say, for example, you could use some of these smaller power plants in some of the smaller towns and cities across the country, and then from there learn, okay, how can we build, or where can we build some of these bigger plants to fuel some of our bigger cities, and go from there. And then we're energy independent. We don't need to go to the world for any of our energy. We could produce it all here, whether it be oil, whether it be uranium for the nuclear power plants. But nobody it takes someone with courage, vision, and cojones. And this guy here is not it. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. The Right Rican. Follow me here on YouTube and Rumble. You could also interact with me on social media. I don't know what's going on with Truth Social, but I'm still on the waiting list. I don't have an iPhone, so I'll have to wait till whenever they're, allowing non-iPhone users to get on. But anyways, that being said, have a good one. Oh, click the wrong X. Anyways, good one, everyone.